So for payment button, I am going to quickly run you through what we did. There is a there was a lot of effort that went into creating the go-to-market plan for payment button. But let me give you a quick version of it. We decided that we wanted to do a big bang PR launch firstly, and along with that, we wanted to talk about the product in a webinar that we decided to host. Now the PR went out in the morning and we were covered in a lot of publications. We covered in about 100 plus publications. I can share more details, separately. But the webinar is what I wanted to talk about, right? So we created this webinar called Unlock Growth. Again, targeted purely at the segment that we had identified. We picked up influencers who had this sort of a base. So we picked up Vaibhav Sisanti and Digital Deepak, and we were fortunate because they were both using Razorpay and they were advocates of Razorpay. So we worked with them, and the reason why we identified them as influencers was because their base was actually, kind of tied up with our base, basically the base that we were going after. And so we created this webinar with both of them, which was called Unlock Growth, and where we were not talking about payment button. So we didn't announce the webinar saying that, hey, we are launching payment button, come and talk to us. No, we decided to do this webinar on an Unlock Growth campaign, which was essentially that if you are a small business and you want to grow, what should you be doing? And of course, it was much more targeted in the sense that if you're an NGO, this we are going to talk about levers that will help you get more donors or create better campaigns. If you're an educator, look at Deepak and Vaibhav, and they will help you. And so it was a webinar that we had planned. And in that webinar, then we said that the last 20 minutes we are going to dedicate onto payment button and the launch of payment button. Now for the webinar, we did a lot of things. Again, I can cover that separately. But the result was essentially that we had close to about 2,000 live attendees. We had the attendees stay almost throughout the entire 1.5 hour of the webinar. We organically started trending on Twitter at the 14th position. We had a lot of people put out tweets, talk about us, completely, again, not not paid stuff, but obviously, there were a lot of hooks. So we used a lot of growth marketing methods to ensure that people are attending. We sent out a lot of reminders. We sent out a lot of hooks. We were giving out 5,000 worth of free credits, Razorpay free credits. Vaibhav and Deepak were also giving out a lot of freebies. We had a contest coming, and we had people tweeting out throughout the session, and we had some really good engagement. We had again, as I said, we organically were trending on number 14. I have a screenshot of number 16 as of now, but we were trending at number 14, 15, and we received the highest number of signups in a single day on Razorpay with this particular webinar. Again, a few things here on what we did to ensure that people attended. But the idea was that this was a big bang launch event. This was not a single thing that we did, right? There was a lot of things that we did at the background. So what all did we do? One, where will the customer find us? So the customer will find us on our Razorpay dashboard, on our website, on the emailers that they get. All these places where we could have real estate, we essentially consume that. Where can we find the customer? So all your outbound channels, right? So all your paid marketing, your blogs that we had to put out. So if they are searching for certain terms, we ensured that we are at the top of those search results for certain keywords. We are capturing that particular segment. Again, where could they find us? Could be on our own blogs, on our own social posts. We started by creating a buzz. So we started with a very fun video with our product manager, with our founders. We started putting out, very cool looking, very different looking, creatives. Our entire brand and communication that was designed by our visual designers was very different from what Razorpay does. So very bright yellows with the blues is what we talked about. We built these four personas where we said that, there is a freelancer, there is a NGO, there is a lady who is a content creator. So we created these personas and we talked about them on social, and everywhere that we put out our content, there was parity in that content. We had put out the same thing across all channels. And so, this is a blog that you guys can also go through. If you search Razorpay payment button blog, you would basically find this. But then all of this, again, leveraging product, as I said, on the dashboard, on the emailers, finding these, Easter, putting out smaller contests where we are putting out Easter eggs saying that use Razorpay payment button, get your first 1,000 rupees free credit with Razorpay, using these baits to drive people down the funnel. Once we've created awareness, once they come in, they are looking at us, then to convert them, we use these kind of things. Again, sales enablement. So a lot of these queries came to our sales teams, our mid-market and SME sales teams. And a lot of them, were trained to handle what are they supposed to say, how are they supposed to sell it, what is the pricing like, uh, you know, um, what are the procedures like, all of these things.